Hello everyone, welcome to new video. This is our first chapter in Kotlin, the basic concepts in Kotlin. In this video, we are going to discuss a quick introduction to Kotlin language. What is the agenda of this video? We are going to discuss history of Kotlin language, aim of Kotlin language, and features of Kotlin language. Kotlin was created by JetBrains in the year 2010. JetBrains is a company who introduced, developed, and distributed a very popular IDE, that is IntelliJ. In 2010, they started working on this language. Officially, they made the announcement in the year 2011 that they are working on Kotlin language. In the February 2016, the first version of Kotlin was introduced. In May 2017, at Google I/O, Google announced official support for Kotlin on Android. In the May 2019, at Google I/O, Google declared Kotlin as preferred language for Android application development. So during this period, we were having lots of existing programming languages. And despite of that, Google decided to use Kotlin as an official language for Android application development. So there must be some reason. So to understand that reason, let's understand what was the aim behind introducing a new language. So first reason, or the first aim of introducing new language, which is nothing but Kotlin, to have a modern alternative to Java for JVM. The language should be concise. We should have minimum coding efforts to write some code. Language should be expressive and safe. Language should be interoperable with Java. It should be a cross-platform. Cross-platform means it can be executed on various operating systems. It should also support multi-platform. It means that one code base should be useful on multiple code bases. Like developing application, if I write one code base, it should be useful for all platforms like iOS application development, web development, backend development, so and Android development as well. It should also be supported by all the operating systems, all the popular operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, and variants of Unix operating system and Linux. So another aim was to have unified development for backend, front-end, and mobile application development. With this aim, engineers at JetBrains, they introduced a new programming language called Kotlin, and there are various features of Kotlin programming language. So first feature is conciseness. We have to write less amount of code as compared to other programming languages whenever it comes to write some program. There are many features which makes Kotlin a concise language. For example, we have data classes. So data classes, we know that used to hold the data. If I want to create the data class in Java, it requires lots of code to be written. We have to define properties, constructor, getter methods, setter methods, toString method, equals method, so on and so forth. But in case of Kotlin, writing a data class is a one line of code. Another example could be scope functions. So scope functions reduces our coding efforts up to great extents. Smartcast is another feature which makes it easier for smart casting the objects into target variables with the less amount of code. In Kotlin, we don't even need semicolon at the end of the statement. In Kotlin, we don't even have to define a data type of our variable, and based on the value we assign, it will basically consider the data type. So likewise, there are many features which makes this language as concise language. That is, we have to write less amount of code. The next important feature that we have is null safety. Null safety is a feature which ensures that application will not crash due to null pointer exception. In Java, this was one of the biggest problem. There was no strict policies for compile time null check. So in Kotlin, they introduced the concept of null safety, and when we follow null safety, the application will never crash due to null pointer exception. In Kotlin, we also have a function, Kotlin extension functions, so which is a way of adding new functionality, new functions to existing and user-defined classes without inheriting from it. So this helped the uh, engineers at JetBrains. Extension function helped them to add more and more functionality to existing classes of Java, and now we have these functions available in Kotlin as a new functions. As a developer, you can also create extension functions and useful extension functions. All right. The next feature they introduced, writing multi-threaded program in Java was not easy. They introduced a new concept called as coroutines. So coroutines is a structured concurrency framework, which is structured concurrency frameworks, and it is lightweight, it is easy to learn and use, it is robust as well. So by the help of coroutines, it is very easier to write code which runs asynchronously and parallelly. Kotlin was developed to have interoperability with Java. It means that Java programs, Java classes, Java libraries, we can use it in Kotlin program. In the same way, whatever code we write in Kotlin, it can also be used from Java program. In fact, you can have one project in which you can have both the type of languages used. You must be wondering how it is possible. So it is possible because of a very simple reason. When we compile the Java program, we get the class file, and this class file can be executed on JVM. Exactly in the same way, when we compile the Kotlin program, it is converted to class file, and this class file can also be executed on JVM. Okay, and this is how Kotlin is interoperable with Java. In Kotlin, we have a very good feature called as data classes. Creation of data classes is very frequent requirement because we have to store data very frequently. When I want to create a data class in Java, we have to do we have to write lots of code. That is, we have to define all the properties, parameterize constructor, we have to define getter methods, setter methods, toString method, then equals method, and whatnot. But when it comes to writing the data class in Kotlin, we can write it within the single line. So creating data class become a small and easier task, and compiler will generate all these methods for us. Another important feature, we have sealed classes in Kotlin. We can create a class hierarchy which is restricted. Restricted means that there cannot be new classes at a runtime. There cannot be new inherited classes at runtime. All the subclasses of a parent class is known at compile time itself, and which helps up to great extent in many ways. So we are going to discuss, there are few useful use cases of sealed classes we are going to discuss in detail. Kotlin also has a smart cast feature, which means that if at particular point when Kotlin compiler identifies that this object is a type of particular target type. From that point onward, within that block, you don't have to typecast that object to that target type. Kotlin compiler will automatically convert it into target type variable, and you can use all the functionality of that target type. So which definitely reduces our coding efforts. Another important feature is scope functions. In scope functions makes our life easier. It reduces our coding efforts up to great extent. How we are going to discuss in detail about scope functions. All right. In Kotlin, we have a when expression. In Java, we have a switch statement. So somewhat similar or even more better one that we have is when expression. In Java, when we write a expression within the switch statement and we write the cases, okay, so that expression, value of that expression will be checked for equality only for equality. But in case of when expression in Kotlin, the value of that expression can be checked for equality, can be checked for range value, can be checked for specific type, can be checked for some condition, and even we can have a when expression without uh, the condition expression in the parenthesis, and we can have multiple branches. So when expression is flexible one as compared to switch statement of Java. In Kotlin also developed to have support for multiple platform, which is called as Kotlin multi-platform, KMP. This means that I can write one code, one particular class, and this class I can use it on, if I am writing it for Android, the same class can be used for iOS application development, same can be used in web application development, same can be used in backend application development, so and so forth. So for all these reasons, Kotlin becomes a first class choice for software engineers and software developers around the world, and it gained the popularity. The most the most popular one is Android application development. So these are the important features of Kotlin. In the interview, this is a very common question. What are the advantages of Kotlin over Java? Or what is the difference between Java and Kotlin? Or what are the important features of Kotlin? And even interviewer can ask you like, why do you prefer Kotlin over Java? So to answer to this question, answer should be something like this. Kotlin has various features which makes it unique language. The first very important feature is Kotlin supports null safety, which ensures that program will not program will not crash due to null pointer exception. Second point, Kotlin supports coroutines, which is new, lightweight, robust, powerful, structured concurrency framework to write asynchronous and multi-threaded application. In Kotlin, we have extension functions, which allows us to add more functionality to existing classes without inheriting from it. And Kotlin is also interoperable with Java. It means that Java code can be used in Kotlin and Kotlin code can be used in Java program. In Kotlin, we have flexible when expression, which is useful to not only check for equality, but it can also check for range. It can also check for condition. It can also check for type check. In Kotlin, we have data classes, which is easy and concise way of creating Pojo classes. In Kotlin, we also have smartcast, which makes it easier for typecasting the variables. Once the variable is identified as a particular type of variable, we don't have to typecast it further. We can directly use it as a target type variable. Kotlin also supports one important feature, which is Kotlin multi-platform. So one code base can be shared along multiple platforms, such as if a code written for Android application development, the same can be used on iOS application development, web application, and backend application development as well. So these are the advantages of Kotlin over Java. So answer of this question is given over here as well. If you want, you can note it down, take a screenshot for your reference. That's all in this video. Do let me know if you have any doubts, any questions. I'm happy to help you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.